Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Matt and Mike's X-Files CCG. What's up? It's sort of a weird episode today, an episode, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm not sure, but we're basically we're putting on the tournament, right? Oh my God, we're doing another tournament.
Yeah,
I,
nothing weird about that.
I
Nothing
didn't
weird
think,
about that at all.
I didn't think, I didn't think I'd be back here, but here we are. But what we're doing today is we're determining the initial matchups. So we have 14 contenders that are vying for some really amazing prizes, some of which are uncut sheets, custom cards, playtest cards, and gilded cards, which that's just bonkers. So what we're doing here today is we're using this lovely bingo ball roller, and we're going to determine what these matchups are. And Steven, you want to tell us a little bit about how the matchups are going to work?
Okay, so these are the pre-playoff matchups for the 2024 X-Files CCG Virtual Tournament. What we're going to do is we're going to be drawing. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. So each of the 14 contenders that Mike mentioned has a number assigned to them, and you can see some of them in our backdrop that we've got going on there. So each of you 14 has a number assigned to you, of which Mike is going to be drawing from the vintage bingo ball in just a moment. So these are going to determine who your opponent is going to be for the pre-playoff matchups, which is going to consist of 3 games, so basically a best of 3. And of course, all 14 of you are going to be advancing to the playoffs, but the outcome of your 3 matchups with your opponent is going to determine who's going to be your opponent entering the playoffs. So think of it a little bit as like a warm-up. So this is a non-elimination pre-playoff matchups that we got going on. So you just get a chance to, stretch your deck a little bit, see what. And Mike, I do have a question. Are they going to be able to revise their deck going into the playoffs, or is the deck that they're using for the pre-playoffs, does that have to be the same going into the playoffs?
So that is actually outlined in the rules that all of the contestants received, as far as the number of times that they can exchange their deck. I believe they can do it once during the regular, but once they go into the playoffs, I believe it's locked in. Yeah, I'll have to double check on the rules on that. I don't have them here in front of me. But basically the way that the playoff seeding will go, if anybody watches football or a lot of pro sports, basically the highest seed plays the lowest seed. So if you win all 3 of your games, you're more than likely going to be playing somebody that lost all 3 of their games, which may give you an edge. But then again, maybe that player can come out of nowhere for a huge upset. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these games come out. All 3 of these games, or the games in general, will start anytime April 1st. So once you have your opponents here today, we'll put up their emails. It's your responsibility to work with that person to get a game set up. Let us know. We can work on times or whatever. If somebody can, judge it or whatever, we'll figure something out. But it's up to you guys, because this is a worldwide tournament. This is not just in Iowa. All right. This is worldwide right now. So work with each other on times. And if you want to, after today, start working with your round 2 opponent, your round 3 opponent on times, do it. Absolutely. Go for it. The better or the easier you can get these games set up, the better. As far as the time constraint goes, there's not really any huge time limit on these. We'd like them to be within 2 weeks each, but we're flexible. We're letting you guys kind of take the reins on this one a little bit. That was the biggest upset, or not upset, but the biggest hindrance for me personally on the last tournament was organizing and scheduling times for you guys to play games worldwide. My wall looked like I was a crazy person. So we're putting that on you guys this year. But yeah, anything else, Steven? Oh, I do have, go ahead.
I was going to say, I have 2 reminders for the 14 contenders watching this. And I just want to remind you guys to submit your deck lists to Mike and Matt mmxfilesccg@gmail.com by March 31st. So that's still like a week and change away. But nevertheless, I want to remind you guys, so get those deck lists to us. Make sure that your deck list, your total deck list, including your agents, does not exceed 100, because that's going to be, oh no, these can be 100 because these aren't going to be the final. Well, they could possibly be the final decks for the uncut sheets. But anyway, the reason I'm stressing the keep it under 100 is because that's the limit for what we can do for the uncut sheet for the two grand prize winners, the grand prize winner and the second prize, or the second place winner, that is. So keep them under 100. And again, March 31st, that's the date to get them to us. The second thing, for those of you who may not have been a part of a game either on this channel or on my channel, Alien Investigations, if you haven't had a chance to do an equipment setup with your camera, your microphone, if you're using one, be sure to reach out to me or Mike so we can just schedule sort of like an AV check or AV setup, just to make sure you got your both your profile camera as well as your bird's eye camera. That one's obviously most important. So, and given everyone's, situation, so setting up the bird's eye camera could be potentially difficult, but nevertheless, reach out to us so we can help you with getting that set up if you need any assistance or, some advice with that.
With that, I had a little bit of an announcement today too. I woke up, my computer exploded with messages this morning. But Mr. Kurt Richardson, thank you. Kurt has very honorably made a generous donation to make custom cards for the tournament for every player of the tournament, agent cards.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So at some point, take a photo of yourself doing something wacky, good headshot, something like that. Let's get you on an agent card. We're going to try and get everybody a set. I've already talked to Dax a little bit about it, and we're going to, I think, use existing agent cards and effects and, skill sets, stuff like that, but just change the title, photo, and probably the quote. And in addition to that, we'll obviously have the custom card for the tournament as well. But that was a nice little surprise from Kurt this morning. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. So thank you, Kurt, for that. Everybody, I'm sure, will enjoy this.
Yeah, thank you, Kurt. And actually, he is in the live chat at the moment. So yes, that's very generous of you. And Dax, if you're also tuning in, and actually, you know what, he is tuning in. Dax, you just have a little bit more work added to your caseload right there. So
yeah, we gotta get on that. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we start drawing these things, right?
Well, before we do that, we do have a couple of questions. So maybe we could address, well, actually, I think I just see one question that is coming from Alistair, one of our 14 contenders, aka Jaunty Goblin. We don't need a judge present for these first round games, right?
I don't think the majority of the people that are playing the tournament are really familiar with the game, and even the few that aren't will probably be playing somebody that is. Use your best judgment. We'd like to have a judge for every game, but I'm not going to be upset if you guys play a game and you have fun and you're able to solve your own, your own questions. It's not the end of the world. At least let us know when the game is, because even if we can take, 15 minutes or pop aside or like Steven's at the library, hey, there's a game going on right now. Okay, cool. I just got my phone on me in case I need to pop in or step aside real quick, answer a question. That's totally fine. Just like I said, just let us know when it's going to be. And we'll make it we'll make it work. I just want to make sure everybody's having fun and there aren't any, conflicts in the games that can't be resolved either on their own or without the help of one of us.
That sounds good. So Alistair, don't sweat about the adjudicator's schedule while you and your opponent are playing the matchup. So that's secondary. Yeah, for my part, if you guys are scheduling it on a weekend, if I'm not working, I will, generally do my best to be available because I want to watch some of these games. I want to be able to enjoy like some of the decks and some of the teams of agents that you guys are bringing to the tournament. So for my part, I'm going to do my best to be present. So you guys can especially reach out to me if you guys want an adjudicator for for these pre-playoff matchups.
Yep.
And I think that was our only question. Dax, we do have one more. Dax wants to know, where is Mr. May? We did promise him as a special guest. Mike, where is he?
He'll be in any minute now. He's as you can imagine, a very busy man, and he's just going to pop in and say hi. He's also agreed to maybe help out with some judging of some games as well. So he'll be in shortly, I promise.
Okay, and we do have actually one more question that's just coming in from Mr. David Peace over at Studio Squim. He wants to know, is there an online calendar we can use to show when we are all playing?
That is actually a pretty good idea. I should probably do that.
Damn good idea. Should we make it available on the Facebook group and the Discord group, or how do you want to do this?
I think what I can do is I can do a read-only Google document with a link. So I can I'll just email everybody a link to a calendar, and then just let me know, and I'll add, and that way you can access it and see when the games are at any time.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think we're ready to go.
All righty. Well, let me just bring in my balls here. All righty. Alrighty, so we're going to get this thing going. So everybody, you have your numbers assigned to you, right? I'm just going to roll this thing, and I'm going to start plugging these numbers in. So when you see your number come up, the next number that comes up will be your opponent. We'll do round 1, we'll do round 2, we'll do round 3, and then we'll call her a day, and you guys can go off and start doing your scheduling. So here we go. The first ball. The second ball as well. Well, they both came out, so we'll just do both of these. So we're going to have 2 and 33.
I believe I know one of the Richardsons is 2. Let me just pull up the thing. If we can't see the backdrop, except for a few of them, so
I've got it right here. It can kind of
right here? Okay.
Yeah, we can do it right here in front of the screen.
Okay. Oh, no, that's number 2 is Paul Coma. Oh, you got it right up there. Yep. Excellent. So Paul, and it looks like Matt Sauerman. And I do apologize, gentlemen, if I mispronounced either of your names.
We're going to bring in this guy while I keep rolling for opponents here. Hello, Mr. May.
Well, good morning, or good evening, or wherever you are on the planet.
Driving while talking on the phone, Mr. May. Very on.
What a shocker. I know. It's just a shock.
It's good to see you, sir. It's been a while.
It's good to be seen. Sorry, life, man. But I'm glad we're doing this. This is good.
All right, next round is 3 versus 31.
That would be Sky Evans and Kurt Richardson.
All right. So, Mr. May, are you able to help us out with maybe judging some games or popping in from time to time on this, keeping the kids company?
Well, of course, I do consider this, the pinnacle of X-Files CCG tournaments. This is it. This is what we crown bragging rights for the next year. So yeah, I can't miss that. So.
All right. Next matchup, 17 versus 32.
17 and 32. That is Stafford Parker and Mike DeChuck. So that we're looking at a Canada versus UK matchup right there.
All right. Next one is number 1 versus we already have our next one after that. Wow. 46.
So number 1 and 46, that is Kurt Richardson and Jonathan Hagee.
Right.
Are they both in Kentucky? So that's a pretty that's a pretty convenient matchup right there. At the very least, they're in the same time zone.
There you go. That's an easy one.
That should be pretty easy for you guys to schedule.
All right, the next one rolled out. These bingo balls are so sporadic that sometimes they just roll out all the time, and they're ready to go. So the next one's already rolled out. So we have 16 versus 19. Oh, no, wait. Sorry, 61. 61.
16 and 61. Interesting. So that is David Peace and Alistair Hennon over in Scotland. So David Peace and Alistair, you guys, I think you have actually squared off at least one time on Studio Squim. So you guys will be acquainted already. Kudos, and looking forward to seeing what you guys bring to the table. Don't forget to submit your decks. Again, everyone, we've received so far 2 deck lists of the 14. So you guys still, again, you have till March 31st to put those decks together and get them to us.
Next one is 62 versus 18.
62 and 18. That is John Wood and Mr. Dave Meyer, host of the Anonymous Tabletop Podcast.
And the final round 1 matchup is 47 and 48.
47 and 48. That is Nathan Petroshak and John E. Yost. So there you have it. Those are our matchups, pre-playoff matchups, that is.
So while I get these put back together here, what do you guys think about the discussion? We had a little bit of discussion on Discord about the cards being used and whatnot. What do you think some of the more popular cards, other than like the Deep Throats and whatever? What do you think in some interesting combos that you'd like to see for this tournament? Some newer kind of stuff.
In terms of agents, or in terms of
agents, cards in general. I think for something like this, playing like an unexplainable or having 2 unexplainable time losses in your deck might be kind of dangerous, because you have no idea if your opponent what deck your opponent's playing.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, as these first 3 rounds progress, if you're watching the other games, do you bet on changing your deck because that's your opponent for round 3? But then what if that person knows that you might change your deck, so they change that deck? So it could be really interesting the way that this works.
It's always hard to say, because you generally don't know what team of agents your opponent's going to be bringing to the game, tournament or otherwise. But you have those staple cards, and I would say unexplainable time loss is an example, falls under that, along with such ones as like laser barrier, injured relative. Even though you don't know exactly what your opponent's bringing to the game, those are still worthy inclusions nonetheless. As far as teams of agents go, hopefully I'm not influencing people's decisions, as some of them might still be putting their decks together. I expect to see, Mulder and Scully will probably be amongst the most recurring ones, if not possibly Skinner and Krychek. I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least one bureaucracy-themed team where you have Skinner occupying the bureau section of the table for the majority of the game. And the question, and of course, the way that deck is constructed, obviously, is going to be geared towards being able to acquire that cell phone in a timely manner. So for those bureaucracy-themed decks, you're probably going to see 2 cell phones included, probably a couple friend in the labs, if not expedite requests for resources to try to enhance the opportunity of getting that cell phone quickly so that they can take advantage of having Skinner in the bureau. I hope to see an alien investigation-themed deck somewhere amongst these 14 players. because I don't know, Mike, you and I are pretty fond of Alien Investigation themed decks, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think they flow better. I really like I really like making those decks. It's just a lot of fun. Mr. May, what was your favorite go-to deck as we start drawing this next set around?
I got kicked over to me, right?
Yeah.
The year was 97. You guys, some of you have seen me play, so I don't know. I'm a go wide. You know, I do like the diversity. I like having an agent that can handle whatever comes their way, like the laser barrier. You know, I like the slow and steady. You know, but you know, it combos. If you can do it, it's always hard, right? But you wanna. And again, everybody's seen everything, so yeah. So far, you've said everything. I mean, it sounds like a cop out, but I like Alien Investigation too, and you know, but I'll play bureaucracy again. I am a Swiss Army knife historically in any game. And I want to be able to adapt. I want to have the best defense across the board, and then just plug away at, you know, getting my questions in. Right, make you defend multiple sites. You know, that's me. I'm broke.
Mike, do you have a prediction on whether we'll see more Kreskies amongst the team, amongst the teams that for these pre-playoff matchups? Do you think we'll see more Kreskies, or do you think we'll see more Detective Manners?
Now, if I remember right, it is canon. So saith David May that we can play 20. You can have 20 Kreskies as your agents.
I don't know about that, Mike.
Well, why do we record this stuff?
I don't know how you're going to get res.
Yeah, but you'll do great on criminal investigation.
Yeah,
No
right. All right.
Yeah.
Round
so
two, our first
to see.
Go. What's that?
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm curious to see how many people might be inspired to include Detective Manners in their teams. I know he's been. Everyone who's seen any of the games I've played, he's the most recurring agent, and he is, to cite the term David May used earlier, he's like a toolbox agent, or no, you said Swiss Army knife, right? Yeah, he's like a Swiss Army agent who can just go in and get what you need when you need it. So I'm curious to see how many people will be inspired to include Manners. But then again, Mike, you know, you've been singing Kreski's praises for years at this point.
Yeah, he's basically like one of the main reasons we started the channel was because so you know, I gotta give my boy David Lewis some love. So how about we start this second round two drawings off. We've got number 1 and number 31.
Yep, let me pull this. Okay, so for round 2, we got 1 and 31. That's going to be, interesting, Kurt and Chris Richardson.
Ooh. All right. Now,
that's going to be
when I talk to Kurt, he's like, if we end up getting matched up, we'll do it in opposite ends of the room, or opposite rooms or whatever, which is great. But that'll be really interesting because I think we might just hear like some like faint screams from some people's cameras. Kurt plays something and you hear this, because if I'm not mistaken, it was Chris who is technically the defending champion.
Mm-hmm. As of the FileFest tournament, yes.
Yeah. Successfully spanked Mr. David May in a game which was
Mike, can't you see the man hasn't quite gotten over that yet?
Oh my gosh. I guess this will always be tradition. To the winner of these things goes the ability to beat Dave.
Yeah.
So awesome.
All right. Next two. God, these fall out like crazy. Let's see. We got 48 and 33.
48 and 33. That is going to be John E. Yost and Matt Sauerman. So you gentlemen are going to be squaring off for round 2.
All right. Whoa, 4 of them fell, but that works. 16 and 2.
16 and 2. That is David Peace and Paul Cuomo. So you gentlemen, round 2, you're squaring off with one another. I should be writing these down because I'm also going to be posting some recaps, images in the Facebook group and Discord. So you guys, if you're not watching or you don't want to try to have to scroll through the video to try to figure out where your ball comes up, I'll do my best to get those posted shortly.
I've got it all on a spreadsheet here, so.
Oh, perfect. Send that. Oh, that's great. So send that to me, and then I'll make some pretty flyers to post so everyone knows who's going to be squaring off.
All right, we got 18 versus 3.
18 and 3. That's going to be Dave Meyer and Sky Evans. I believe Sky is heralding from Japan, so Dave Meyer, you might have to do a late one for that one.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Yep.
All right, we got the next one, 46 and 61.
46 and 61. That is Jonathan Hagee and Alistair Hedden.
Nice. That'd be a good game.
And again, I want to apologize if I'm mispronouncing anyone's surname. You guys can correct me whenever you get around to doing your matchups. I do apologize.
All right, next is 17 and 62.
17 and 62. That's going to be Staff Parker and John Wood.
And
All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to interrupt for 2 seconds because this was my cameo as I have arrived wherever it is that I'm arriving.
all righty. Thank you for popping in and saying hi. We appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll see you soon coming up with the tournament with some games.
Oh, yeah. I'm always hiding in the shadows, by the way. I'm always watching.
All right.
Drive safely, Mr. Man.
Hey, I stopped driving because obviously, yes, you should stream and drive. Forget texting. Just stream and drive. All right, man. We love you guys. Look forward to seeing all the great games and participating in capacities yet to be understood. All right.
Bye.
Peace out.
All righty. And the final matchup for round 2 is 47 and 32.
47 and 32. That's going to be Nathan Petroshak and you said 32, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I thought I heard 42. Yes, so that's going to be Nathan Petroshak and Mike Duchuk.
All right. Pop
U.S.
these
versus
guys
Canada.
back in for one more roll here. Well, we haven't had any repeats so far, I don't think.
Yeah. So we've pulled the balls for round 1 and round 2. So we're gonna do round 3, and that'll call it a day, right, Mike?
That's it. Yep. And like
Excellent.
I said,
I got to get right back to work. My lunch hour is almost over.
nice. And yeah, like I said, once we have these numbers, or you guys have your numbers, we'll post the image with all the emails as well as the numbers and your round assignments, and it's up to you guys to start reaching out. Now, you can do this on Facebook. You can do it on Discord. You can do it via email. Heck, if you have each other's phone numbers, go nuts. Just make sure that when you do finally make, that arrangement, just let us know, let me or Steven know that your game's going to take place at that time on that date, and we'll get it in the calendar. All right, round 3, the first 2 opponents. Oh, there. It will be 2 and 61.
2 and 61. That's going to be Paul Cuomo and Alistair Hedden.
Right.
You said 61, right?
61.
Yeah, 61. Great. Yeah, Paul and Alistair. That's you guys.
You have to do this thing slowly. There we go. All right. Oh, we're familiar with this number. Number 1 and 48.
1 and 48. So that's going to be Kurt Richardson and John E. Yost.
All right. That one came out last. That one came out third. Back in there. Okay, these two here. There we go. Number 3.
Bingo ball pulling, have we, Mike?
I know, right? Number 3 and number 47.
3 and 47. That's going to be Sky Evans and Nathan Petroshak.
All right.
I feel like I could just use the first names only because, we do have like 2 Daves and we have actually 3 Johns in here.
Oh, nice. All right. 17 and 33.
17 and 33. That's going to be Stafford Parker, and Matt Sauerman.
All right. Next will be 46 and 32.
That's going to be Jonathan Hagee and Mike DeChuck for round 3.
All right. 62 and 18.
62 and 18. So that's going to be John Wood and Dave Meyer.
And last, almost fell off. There we go. And last and certainly not least, 31 and 16.
31 and 16. That's going to be that's going to be Chris Richardson and David Peace. Oof. Tough break on that one, David.
Well, there you have it. There are the assignments for round 1, 2, and 3 of the preliminary rounds, regular rounds, if you will, of the 2024 X-Files collectible card game tournament.
Virtual tournament.
Virtual tournament, yep. Unless you're in the same, state.
Well, yeah, with Kurt and Chris in the same room, then.
Yeah. Something tells me that's going to be a nail biter. I don't think either one of them is going to play nice on that one.
I want to see that actually. So I take it back. That virtual tournament across the board. I want to watch that matchup.
Right. All righty. So, you have anything else to say, Stephen, before we let the contestants kind of disseminate out into the world and start their games?
Well, once again, just make sure to get us those deck lists. Like I said, we've received 2 of the 14 deck lists. Get those again to us by March 31st. And again, reach out to Mike and I if you need some assistance getting your AV equipment set up for your matchups beforehand. So we've got a lot of experience getting these cameras set up for our games. So, we're happy to help you guys with that. So you can find us we're in the Discord group, we're in the Facebook group. You can PM us on Facebook. You can message us in Discord. You got Mike's email. I get all of those emails as well. So again, we're not hard to find. If you guys need help with anything, just reach out to us. Let us know. I'm very excited to see these matchups. So yeah, April. I've been anxiously waiting for April to get here just so I can see all this X-Files CCG content.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, starting April 1st. If
Did we lose you, Mike? I think we might have lost Mike temporarily. However, while he's in the process of getting himself situated there, Mike, in Canada, I did see you got a question there. Can we stream our games if we have a channel? Yeah, and I do know Mike, for instance, he is the host of the Do Not Pass Go channel. Mike, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, me?
Yeah, so Mike in Canada wants to know if they have their own channel, is it okay for them to broadcast their tournament games?
Yeah. I think that's totally fine if you want to do that. I mean, as long as, like I said, you let us know and you're set up and it looks good. Yeah, man, go nuts. It doesn't have to be on one of our channels. Obviously, we'll facilitate that for those of you that don't have StreamYard accounts or want to use one without ads and stuff like that. Just let us know. We'll get that set up. But yeah, I mean, go for it if you want to do it on yours. That's kind of cool. Yeah,
actually. So yeah, there's at least a few channels that are amongst you got David Peace, who's got Studio Squim, Nathan's got Chasing the Dragon. So yeah, that'd be great. But if not, you guys can reach out to me. I'm happy to facilitate any of these tournament matchups on Alien Investigations. By all means, like I said, I'm gonna try to do my best to be available at any given time. So you guys, please feel free to reach out to me if you guys need a judge, or if you'd like to have your game broadcast on the channel.
So John T, do we have to wait until April to start games? April 1st is the start date, because that gives March 31st is the deadline for people to turn in their decks. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to start any games before people have turned in their decks, just to keep it all on the up and up, keep it fair for everybody. So, but come April 1st, man, if we have like 15 games scheduled for April 1st, I guess that's going to be a busy day because it's whatever you guys want to do.
So the joke will be on us if that's the case.
Yeah, right. I'd be like, oh man, maybe we should have staggered that a bit. Oh, next time.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I actually do have a question. So do all of the matchups in round one need to have taken place before people can schedule their round two matchup?
Ideally,
yeah. I guess, yeah.
However, again, it's kind of fluid. I know that Sky's in Japan, and say that first round, like they can't get something scheduled for like 2.5 weeks or something because they're just working a lot or whatever. But the second round opponent, they can do it tomorrow. I think that'll be okay. I mean, I don't want to make a huge habit out of it. I'd like it to be in order as best as you can. Work with me, work with your opponent. But right. I mean, we can make exceptions to that. I think that's okay, just to make sure the games are getting done, because it's worldwide. We got to be as fluid as possible as we can. So as fluid as possible.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Exciting stuff, Mike. I can't tell you how psyched I am to be part of this. I mean, we had a great time doing the tournament in File Fest, but I like how we have a bit more of a grasp on this as a virtual tournament. We got our, the internet is our playground for this. And so I think it just gives us a wide array of versatility, especially with regards to like scheduling and whatnot. So yeah, I think this is going to be, if not like way more fun to oversee.
Indeed. One last thing I want to point out is, now that you guys have your assignments, or your opponents rather, make sure and take a look at the rules again, and make sure and really study how we're going about that Langley issue, because it's different from most games that you're probably playing on your own. And I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page on that. If you have questions about that, or if it's not specific enough for you, please reach out to either me or Steven. We'll do a one-on-one. We'll talk to you about it, because it is a little different. It's kind of a augmented, half what it should have been, half kind of what it is that we're used to, kind of molded into one to make it kind of fair for everybody. So like I said, if you have any questions, let us know on that.
Yes, and that's with regard to how Langley is played, but also to how a site with multiple bluffs on it are revealed and paid for.
Yep, exactly. So,
and also no Foo Fighter, no Alien Harvester. Yes, we did decide on that one. I didn't update the document to reflect that, but I would say given the nature of that card,
we're not. Yeah, no Foo Fighter. That's banned. We're not officially banning Harvester, but maybe just don't put it in your deck, because that's a pain in the ass for us. I mean, it's a virtual tournament. Like, okay,
Kurt and Chris could actually probably pull it off in the round two. So you know what? There you go.
Yeah,
that's
what I was about to say. They're probably going to be playing in the same house in opposite rooms, and I mean they could walk over and spin. I mean they could do it physically, but I mean the rest of you, like, just don't put it in your deck. Maybe just do me a personal favor and just maybe don't do that.
I mean, if I'm judging a game and someone wants to and that comes up, I'll be happy to just be the one who flips the thing. I don't know. I've never seen that card played, and I wouldn't mind it. But again, it just for the sake of convenience, probably don't use that one. So I guess it's an unofficial ban, but or just use your best judgment, guys.
Yeah.
And so so no Foo Fighter. Hack into government files, you can include it, but just keep in mind that you can only pull from the bureau deck and the discard pile.
Yep. And I think that about wraps it up. So unless you have anything else, I think everyone get a hold of. We're shortly going to post the emails for everybody, and go out into the world literally, and let's get this tournament started. So. Thanks so much for everybody for being a part of it. We can't wait to start seeing some of these games played, and we'll see you soon.